hardpoint relocating. Stand by. Position upgraded. Capture the hardpoint.
What's up guys, and welcome back to Software Solutions, and today we're talking about Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 Season 6 and its latest updates and its latest patch notes. Now today I'm going to show you what you can do inside your Windows settings and inside your config file and inside your Windows itself. Don't skip through my video to the COD settings. Please, for the love of fuck, don't skip right to the end to my COD settings. You are going to need to follow my guidelines from the start to the end of the video for these settings to apply. You are watching my video for an FPS boost guide, and for you not to get stuttering and stuff like that. All of the settings I'm about to show you can help you with your game in general, so you can have a smooth gameplay experience and not a shit gameplay experience. As you can see in the beginning of my video, that was me running around with katanas and just killing everyone with knives. Basically, just ran around and just stabbed everyone to death. Now, it's fucking awesome having your game running smoothly, so if you want your game to run as smooth as that, all you're going to need to do is follow every single step I'm about to show you. Ladies and gentlemen, if this worked for you, smash the motherfucking like button, leave a comment down below, and there is a support button on my YouTube video, as you can see at the bottom of it. It actually says thanks. Click on that and then just type a message out to me, whatever that could be, like thank you so much or whatever the case might be. It will be much appreciated if you click that thanks button on my YouTube video at the bottom as you're watching it right now. Alright, let's jump straight into this video. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, so the first thing I highly recommend you go ahead and do is this over here. You're going to come to the start button over here and go to settings, and you're going to come inside here where it says Windows settings. You're going to come to update and security and click on check for updates. Now I already did that. As you can see, I have pending restart. It already downloaded and I just need to restart my machine. I highly recommend that you keep your Windows up to date. It does not matter if you're Windows 10, it does not matter if you're Windows 11. Please go ahead and update your Windows drivers. Now, this is very important, not just for Modern Warfare 2, but for every single game that you're going to be playing. Please go ahead and do this. Don't worry, I know there's a lot of people out there that forget to do this, or they may be just busy, or whatever the case might be. I'm also one of those people. That's why I have this over here, since I went to go ahead and clicked on the update button this morning. So please go ahead and do this. I'm going to restart my machine at the end of this video, and I highly recommend you do the same. Restart your computer after all my settings, and then go into the game and try your game out. And if it worked for you, smash that motherfucking like button. Alright, from here you're going to click on the home button over here and then go to privacy, scroll all the way down to where you see it says background apps, and then turn this from on to off if you are on Windows 10 like me. Now if you're a Windows 11 user, that's your own problem. You installed Windows 11, or you might have bought a pre-built machine that has Windows 11 installed on it. Now that's just the case. Alright, if you have Windows 11, you're going to have to individually turn these things off by disabling them. I'm not going to spoon feed you anymore. I'm not going to make this video any more longer. Just go ahead and Google how to disable the background apps for Windows 11. It's much more complicated, but I highly recommend that you go ahead and change this from on to off. Please go ahead and do that. It's a very important step for your machine, because all of these programs are going to run in the background and use resources like your RAM, your CPU, and your VRAM usage. You don't want it to do that, so please, for the love of fuck, switch this off. From here, you're going to click on the home button, and you're going to come to gaming over here and go to Xbox Game Bar. Make sure that this is turned off. This box is unchecked, and then go to captures. You're going to come inside here. You can just copy all of my settings inside here, because you don't really need this. Unless you use it, then you can go ahead and put it on, but I don't use this, so I keep everything off. You're going to come to game mode and make sure that you have game mode turned on. Game mode turned on right now for Season 6 actually does increase FPS by a slight bit, not a lot. Don't expect like 10 to 20 to 30 FPS increases by changing this little button over here. What it does is it makes your game perform solidly, so I would recommend that you leave this on. Do not turn it off. Please go ahead and switch this on if you have this off. From here, you're going to go to graphics settings, and you're going to make sure that your hardware accelerated GPU scheduling is turned the fuck off. Please go ahead and do that. If yours is on right now like this, and you go ahead and turn it off, it's going to ask you to restart your machine like this. Okay? You're going to restart your machine after my video. Okay? Just go ahead and do that. At the end of my video, you're going to restart your computer in anyways. So if yours is on, turn it off. Hardware accelerated GPU scheduling needs to be turned off. It actually helps with stuttering and input latency, so please go ahead and turn this off. From here, we're going to click on the home button, and then from here, we're going to go to apps over here, and you're going to come inside here. Now from here, I highly recommend you go ahead and uninstall all the bullshit like single player games and stuff like that that you don't need on your machine. Please go ahead and uninstall them, alright? I've got a bunch of shit on my machine. I do have a lot of space. I have a lot of SSDs in my machine. So in general, I highly recommend that if you have multiple drives or just one drive and it's in the red, please go ahead and uninstall bullshit off your machine like single player games or apps that you don't use. Apps and features and shit like that, go ahead and uninstall them that you don't need. Please go ahead and do that. If your machine's hard drives or SSDs or whatever the case might be is in the red, your machine is going to slow down. You don't want it to do that, so please go ahead and make sure that you have enough space on all your drives. Especially if you only have one drive and it's in the red, please go ahead and delete stuff off there and make the space a little bit bigger so that you have more free space and that it's in the blue and not in the red. Alright, from here you're going to click on startup and then you're going to come over here and make sure that you turn the shit off that you don't need to start once you boot your machine. So all of these things also run in the background as well, and you don't want that. Now, as you can see, you'll see what's off by me, and then you can turn it off as well if you have similar programs than me. For instance, like Steam or EA or whatever the case might be, you do not need this to start once you start up your machine. Otherwise, it's going to run in the background, and like I said, it uses resources like your RAM and your CPU. You don't want it to do that. So please go ahead and turn the things off that you don't need, and then obviously, when you want to go to Steam and use Steam, you obviously just click on Steam and then open it up. Don't let it open up once you boot your machine. It slows down your machine in general if all of these programs run in the background while you are playing fucking Call of Duty or any other fucking game that you are playing. So turn this the fuck off. Alright, let's jump straight into the next step. Alright, so the next step I highly recommend you go ahead and do is this over here. You're going to press the Windows key and R and bring up the run tab like this, and you're going to type in temp, just T-E-M-P, and then press enter, and you're going to click on anything inside here. You're going to press Control and A to highlight everything, and then press delete on your keyboard or just right click and say delete. You're going to do this and say try this again. If it says that you can't delete it, say cancel, because Windows is currently using this file. You're going to close out of this, and then you're going to press the Windows key and R again, and then this time you're going to put a percentage symbol in front of the P by pressing Shift and 5, and then go all the way till the front of the T, Shift and 5, to have percentage temp percentage, and then press enter. You're going to click on anything inside here. Let's click on this little fucking bullshit little folder here, and then Control and A to highlight everything and delete on the keyboard, and then to say to do this all kind of items and say continue. Right? Everything has been deleted. Yours might have one file that can't be deleted. Don't worry. It's because Windows is currently using that file. Don't worry about that. All of that is closed out now. Close out of this, and you're going to do this one more time. You're going to press the Windows key and R to bring up the run tab, and then this time you're going to type in prefetch, just like this, and press enter. You're going to say continue to this over here, and then click on anything inside here, Control and A, highlight everything inside here, press delete on your keyboard, and then to say do this on all current items, and say try again, and delete everything inside here. Do this for all current items, and say skip, because Windows is currently using these two files, and then close out of this. Now this is a very important step over here, is moving your recycling bin over here. Now as you can see, there's my recycling bin. I put it on my other screen, so just go ahead and right click on it, and say empty recycling bin, and say yes. Please go ahead and delete everything that you just deleted. It plays a very important role. There's 3 things that I just showed you now that you're going to need to delete. Please go ahead and do that. And it's actually temporary files on your machine that your machine is just going to keep for no fucking reason. Trust me. Alright, let's jump straight into the next step. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, so the next step I highly recommend you go ahead and do is, and this plays a very important role on your Windows itself. Windows 10 or 11. It doesn't matter what Windows you are running, please go ahead and do this. You're going to come to the search button over here at the bottom and type in CMD, and then right click over here and say run as administrator, and then say yes to the command prompt, and then it's going to open up like this. You're going to type in SFC spacebar / scan now, one word, and press enter. Now what this will do is it will actually scan through your machine for corrupt files. In your Windows files, in your drives, it doesn't matter if you have M.2s, SSDs, hard drives, whatever the case might be. This will scan through your entire machine and automatically fix corrupt files and stuff like that. And I highly recommend you go ahead and do this on a weekly basis or a monthly basis, please go ahead and do this. It plays a very big role on your machine itself, not just for Call of Duty, but for every single game that you're going to be playing. All right, let's jump straight into the next step. All right, ladies and gentlemen, so a very important role is your graphics card drivers being up to date. So please go ahead and update your graphics card drivers. If you are a GeForce Experience user, I'm actually going to show you a little tip that you can use in general if you have an Nvidia card like me. All right, but first of all, you're going to go to drivers over here, and then you're going to go to check for updates and make sure that you have this driver over here, which is 537.42. It is the latest graphics card drivers out now at this very moment. Now there will be a new driver being released in this month. Don't worry about it. Just make sure that you keep your graphics card drivers up to date. Now for AMD users, please go ahead and just make sure that you have the latest graphics card drivers installed. Alright, from here, ladies and gentlemen, if you are using GeForce Experience or you don't have it, please go ahead and install GeForce Experience and only use this program to update your graphics card drivers. That's all you need it for. You do not need it for to go to home over here and then play your games through here. I do not recommend it. It actually decreases performance. Alright, from here you're going to click on the settings gear icon at the top, and you're going to come all the way down to the bottom over here in general, and you're going to say downloads. Then it will say automatically download driver updates and let me choose when to install. You're going to check this box. Please go ahead and check this box over here if you have GeForce Experience installed. So it will automatically download the latest graphics card drivers for you on the fly. And I highly recommend you go ahead and do this if you're a GeForce Experience user like me and you use an Nvidia graphics card. Alright, let's jump straight into the next step. Alright, so the next step I highly recommend you go ahead and do is this over here, and it plays the most important role in Call of Duty in general, which is its config file. Now I'm going to go over here, you're going to go to your file explorer like this, and then go to documents, and then go to Call of Duty, go to players, and then go to this option 3.cod22 file over here. And then I highly recommend, if you want to, you can right click on it and delete it, and then open up Call of Duty, and then this will make a brand new config file for you. Alright, that's something that you can do. If you don't want to do that, you don't need to do that. You can actually just open it up like this. Just right click on it and say open. Open this up with any notepad or any editing software that you can edit with. Now this is something that I got a lot of comments on, is people asking me for my entire config file to upload it, and you guys go ahead and download it. Alright, so I'm going to go through the entire config file, not just the cores and stuff like that and things that's important. I'm going to go through the entire config file. Now as you can see, this is my entire config file over here. All you're going to need to do is pause the video and copy my settings as is. This will improve your game by a lot, by 20 to 25 to 30 to 35% increase in performance and in FPS, in visuals, and just your game running much smoother. So copy everything you see on screen. Alright, so I'm going to start scrolling down, and then I'll just pause it again one more time like this. So it's just going to copy every single thing inside here. Everything inside here. Obviously, if your monitor is not a Samsung, please don't fucking put Samsung in there. That's common knowledge. But the rest of these, like stuff like this, is what you're going to go ahead and paste or type in yourself. Please go ahead and do this. Right? So let's move on from here.
I can hear your voice. I can hear your voice.
Alright, so ladies and gentlemen, so please just go ahead and pause my video and copy every single thing inside there. You could just move my YouTube video to your other screen or keep it on the same screen and then go to your config file and copy everything that I have inside there. So if it says true, if it says false, if the values are different numbers, like something like this for instance, this is basically 90% in the video memory scale inside the game. So yours might be 0.5 or 50%, whatever the case might be. Alright, so let's go over the very important steps inside here, which is this one over here, where it says thread count for handling the job queue. Alright, now as you can see it says render a worker count. Now, over here I have 8, as you can see, I have 8 inside here. I have an 8-core, 8-thread CPU. This is my machine. It's a 9700K RTX 2060 OCE and 16 gigs of RAM of HyperX Fury Samsung B-Die RAMs that's been overclocked with XMP and shortened timings. Now, ladies and gentlemen, as you can see, I have total cores of 8. I have 8 total cores and 8 total threads, alright? Now, the reason why I put 8 here is because I have 8 total cores from an Intel CPU. Now, if you have an AMD or a Ryzen CPU, you need to halve your cores. Now, I highly recommend you go ahead and halve it. If it does not increase your performance and decreases it, or it looks exactly the same, then I would recommend putting your total cores inside there. But I would recommend in general for Ryzen machines to halve your cores. The maximum amount of cores that you could put inside here is 16. As you can see, the value over here is 16 for the highest. So if you have a 24 core machine, please don't put 24 inside here. If you have 16 cores, you put 16, obviously. Okay? Do not go over 16. 16 is the highest total value inside here. Now, ladies and gentlemen, this is not your E-cores and stuff like that. This is your actual total cores, your performance cores. You need to put your total inside here if you are an Intel user like me. Ryzen is half its cores. So let's say you have a 12-core Ryzen machine, you put 6 here. Alright? You get my point, okay? I don't need to explain every single Ryzen's cores. I really don't need to do that, okay? So I'm going to put 8 back inside here because I have an 8-core, 8-thread CPU. And it's your cores, not your threads, your cores. Please go ahead and put your total inside here if you're running an Intel machine. Please go ahead and put half inside here if you're running a Ryzen machine. Please go ahead and do that, alright? The video memory scale, like I said over here, is what you do inside the game. I have mine at 90%, so that's why this looks like this. Now, a lot of people have changed this value over here to 0, and they talk about it on Reddit saying that if you change this value to 0, it actually makes the game run a little bit better. Now, that's bullshit because I've tested it myself. It actually does absolutely nothing. I don't see no increase in nothing. I don't see performance increase. I don't see like stuttering going away or anything like that. As long as you copied everything inside my config file, you will be good to go. I can tell you that right now. And if this config file worked for you, smash that motherfucking like button and leave a comment down below saying thank you for your config file settings. Alright, let's jump straight into the next step. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, so the next step I highly recommend you go ahead and do is open up Nvidia control panel. Just right click on your desktop and open up Nvidia control panel if you are an Nvidia user like me, and you're going to come inside here to where it says adjust image settings with preview, and make sure you have this one selected where it says use the advanced 3D image settings, and click on take me there. It's basically just going to take you to manage 3D settings, and you're going to come inside here. Now all you're going to need to do is copy every single setting I have inside here as is. Please go ahead and pause the video and copy everything I have inside here. Please go ahead and do this. Right now, the shader cache should still be 100 gigs, prefer maximum performance, your selected dedicated GPU over here, and then this where it says threaded optimization, please go ahead and turn this on. From here, you're going to go to apply, and then it's going to apply all of these settings for you. Every single setting that you have changed inside here. Your screen might flash a couple of times. Don't worry about that. It's just applying the settings for you. Alright, from here you're going to come to config, surround, and physics, and you're going to come to the physics settings over here. Now your GPU is what handles your physics, and you're going to select your dedicated graphics card. Now if you have an APU unit, and I don't know if you maybe don't know what an APU unit is. An APU unit is basically a CPU with the GPU built into the CPU itself. If you have one of those, which not a lot of people have, but if you are one of those people, go ahead and select CPU. If you have a dedicated graphics card built into the PCIe slot, go ahead and select your dedicated graphics card and say apply. Please go ahead and do this because what it will do is it will apply your GPU to its physics. Please go ahead and do that. From here, you're going to go to adjust desktop color settings, and you're going to come inside here. Now, if you have multiple screens like me, please go ahead and select your main screen that you play your games on. You're going to come down to here. Brightness, 50%. Do not change this inside here. You're going to change this inside your games and stuff like that, not inside here. Contrast at 65%. It's always been a sweet spot for me. Please go ahead and leave it at 65. Gamma, its default settings, which is 1.00. And then your digital vibrance over here, you're going to click on image 3 and then pull this all the way down. When you pull this all the way down, your screen is going to go black and white. And then when you pull it all the way up to 50, which is basically its default settings, you'll see that your windows and your taskbar and everything is washed out. Even the Nvidia control panel right now will be washed out. You will see that. That is its default settings. You don't want that. You do want more digital vibrance on your screen, meaning it will be for all games, not just Modern Warfare 2, for every game you're going to be playing. Now, I highly recommend pushing this up by like 65 or 75 if you have bad eyesight. If you don't have bad eyesight and you have like the best vision, then I would recommend pushing this all the way to 95 right here. This has always been my sweet spot on my screen for every single game I play, and it makes the colors pop a lot. The digital vibrance makes your games look really, really nice. So you don't need to use Nvidia filters and stuff like that that can actually decrease your FPS. This can do nothing to your machine in performance. It can actually just increase it by these settings over here that can increase your performance, and this can make your game look better. Alright, so you don't want to use Nvidia filters that can decrease performance, so rather use this option over here. Alright, you're going to say apply, and let's jump straight into the game. Let me show you the best settings you can use for Season 6. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Season 6, and we are in Modern Warfare 2 right now. All you're going to need to do is go to the little gear icon and go to the Settings tab and come to display over here. Now, right now at this very moment, there is no physical difference between full screen exclusive and full screen borderless. There used to be a FPS impact in the game. When you put your game at full screen exclusive, it used to give you more FPS. At this current moment of recording, there is no physical difference between full screen exclusive and full screen borderless. They actually added a new feature inside the new Season 6 that I'm going to go over to show you if you want to go to your other screens, if you have multiple screens and stuff like that. Alright, let's jump straight to that option and then let me show you what you're going to need to enable. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, so this is the option over here. Now, as you can see, if you turn this on and you apply it, I can't get off the screen, right? So I can't get to my left side screen. But if I turn this off and I apply it, I can get off of it. And now I'm on my left side screen, okay? So if you want to jump to multiple screens, you can go ahead and turn this off. If you don't want to jump to multiple screens or you only have one screen, please go ahead and enable this and then say apply, all right? I'm not going to do that right now because I have multiple screens and I do monetize my YouTube and my Discord and stuff like that. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, so something I just want to go over is this over here, this display gamma. A lot of people put this at 2.4, and I don't know why the fuck they go ahead and do that. You don't have a TV. If you watched my entire video, I actually showed my setup. I'm running a TV as a monitor, as a main screen to play my game on. It's a 55-inch Samsung Smart curved 4K TV, alright? Now, this is the reason why I put this at 2.4. If you have a monitor or a display, like a laptop display or a gaming monitor, or just a monitor in general, please, for the love of fuck, change this to 2.2. Don't listen to the rest of the people that go onto YouTube and tell you to put it at 2.4 if you're running a fucking monitor. Please don't, because it actually spoon feeds you on the right top here why you would put it on 2.2 and why you would put it on 2.4. For the love of fuck, don't listen to the people that's saying that you should put this at 2.4. If you're running a TV, yes, go ahead and put it at 2.4, but if you're running a monitor or a gaming monitor, you put this at 2.2. Please go ahead and do that. Alright, let's jump straight into the quality tab. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, as you can see, we are in the quality tab right now, and I'm going to jump over everything inside here, don't worry, but something I just want to point out and mention is this over here. As you can see, it says other apps. I'm only using 675 megabytes of my VRAM for other apps, okay? Now, if you didn't watch my entire video, and you went to go ahead and skip straight to my COD settings where I'm now, please go back and follow my entire video so yours can also look like this. Because I've seen people comment in my comments down below that they are using 2000 over here, meaning that's 2 gigs of VRAM being used by other apps. So please, for the love of fuck, if you skipped through my video right to the Call of Duty settings, go through my entire video and then follow the steps as it shows, then you'll have this amount like this, or a slight bit more, or a slight bit less. Okay? Please go ahead and do this. It's a very important step. That's why I always say, watch my entire fucking video. Don't skip to the COD settings, because it's not going to just help you if you jump straight to my Call of Duty settings and you haven't done nothing from the beginning of my video, all the way till where we are now. Please don't skip through my fucking video, alright? You need to watch my entire video for this to work for you, alright? And then also listen to what I'm saying and follow my fucking guidelines, alright? This one over here, I've been running ever since Season 4 dropped. I've been running the Intel upscaling. Now, a lot of people has left me comments down below saying they don't like this option because it doesn't look that great for them. Now, for me, in general, with my specific rig, everyone has a specific rig, okay? This runs the best for me. In quality, I have this Intel upscaling, ultra quality, 90% on the video memory scale, normal, high, high, and high. Okay, now let's go up. Now, if you don't prefer this option over here, I highly recommend that you go with this one over here, Nvidia image scaling. It's a really good upscaling in this game, and it makes the game look really good. But then, yet again, you're going to need to do this. Click on this, come here, and go to ultra quality on this preset. Please go ahead and do that. And then this is your own personal preference. Mine's 5. When I do use Nvidia image scaling, that's my own personal preference. But you will have your own personal preference as is by moving the scaler up or down for the sharpness of this preset. Okay, make sure then that you have this at full mic SMAA T2 times, normal, 90, normal, high, high, and high. Now, for the people out there that is struggling with FPS and they're not getting the best performance out of this game, you are going to either use Nvidia DLSS. A lot of people prefer Nvidia DLSS to get more performance out of their game. Now, I would recommend using Nvidia DLSS if you want to use it and like you're a fanatic on using this option over here. Then I would recommend you put this at quality or balance. Do not put this at performance. Do not put it ultra performance. You're going to tear out your own fucking eyes because the game looks like dog shit. In the first place, Nvidia DLSS, when you move around, the screen on the left and right hand side blurs. Now, when you have it at this option or that, it blurs even more. And I'm pretty sure you're going to want to feel like you want to throw your PC out your fucking window or your monitor or your screen. So please, don't use these two options. Use balanced or quality if you're using Nvidia DLSS. Everyone has their own personal preference on what upscaling and sharpening they use, right? The sharpness over here is going to depend on your screen and your own personal preference, all right? Let's jump over this. If you are struggling with FPS right now at this very moment and you're running an Nvidia card or an AMD graphics card, just because this says AMD FSR 1.0 does not mean you need an AMD graphics card to use this option. Alright, you can use this with an Nvidia card as well. You go with AMD FSR 1.0 and you have it at quality. Please go ahead and do this. This will give you a significantly increase in performance and overall quality in general, make your game run much, much better. I would recommend having this at full mic. I would highly recommend you keep it like this. But if you're still struggling with FPS and you an FPS chaser, you can go ahead and put this at SMAA T2 times. Not full mic, but then what it's going to do is it's going to give you jagged edges. If you don't care about jagged edges in the game and you care about the performance and you care about basically just how your game runs, that it runs really well, then go with SMAA T2 times, normal over here, and then this you're going to decrease to 60%. Alright? Or 75. You can actually type it in here like this. Just type in 75 and press enter. Or type in 65 or whatever you want to type inside here. It's your own personal preference and what you want the video memory scale to be on. But if you're using AMD FSR at quality with this over here, then I would recommend putting this at 60, just like this, and press enter. Alright? That's what I recommend. Then I would recommend putting this at low. Do not put this at very low. Yet again, you're going to tear out your own fucking eyes. Don't put this at very low. Low and normal looks exactly the same, like that. When you put this to low, your game's not going to look like this. It will still look like that. But if you put this to very low, your game's going to look like that. You don't want that. Trust me, you don't fucking want that. You do not want to feel like you're playing fucking Tetris, because you aren't. You are playing Modern Warfare 2. Please don't put this on very low. You're going to go to low or you're going to go to normal. My machine can handle normal, so I keep this at normal. If your machine can't handle normal, go to low and leave it like that. These three options over here, you do not touch. You leave it at high all three of them. Please don't turn them down. For the love of fuck, don't turn them down. If you turn them down, your game's going to look like dog shit, physical dog shit. Physical dog shit. So don't turn it the fuck down. Alright, from here, if you do not use or don't like AMD FSR 1.0, you can always go with AMD FSR 2.1. But what it's going to do is this. It's going to overwrite these two things and lock them for you. Alright, I do know a lot of people out there that is actually using 2.1 right now, this very moment. It overwrites the anti-analyzing and it also writes the quality of it. So that's your own personal preference if you want to use this option. And then go over here to 60 or 50 yet again, okay? And then low, and then high, and high, and high, alright? Then, this one over here, Fidelity FX Cache, a lot of people still prefer this in Season 6, right? Basically, almost in 2024. We're almost there, ladies and gentlemen. Literally, we're almost there. Modern Warfare 3 is popping off, so yeah. Anyways, a lot of people are still preferring Fidelity FX Cache. If you still prefer this and you run this, I would recommend using it then have this at full mic SMAA 2 times. Normal, have this at least at 75 or higher. Don't drop it lower, okay? 75 or higher. Don't drop it anything lower than 75, okay? Then have this either at low if you want more performance. If you want a slight bit less FPS, like let's say 3 to 4 to 5 FPS, and you don't care about it, then go to normal over here. High, high, and high. This is how you're going to run your game, alright? This is for the people out there that needs that FPS. Okay, let's go over the rest of the settings. Now, everyone knows the rest of the settings so far. If you are new to my video, I'm going to go over them right now. Alright, clutter draw distance doesn't have an option, as you can see. It's because I actually changed the config file inside my game. That's why I don't have any option in here. If you do, you're going to go with short, particle lighting, low, particle quality level, very low, bullet impacts on, damage layers is your own personal preference. You can put it on or off, your own personal preference. I have mine off, alright? Shader quality, low, tessellation, off, always off, leave it the fuck off, and thank you, and done. Alright, this one, off, always off, leave it off, thank you, and done. This is a video on its own, honest to God. If you turn this on, you can read. Just read there, read. Open your eyes, use your eyes for once, and look what the fuck this option does. Okay, cool. Don't use this option. Turn it the fuck off. I don't use it, you shouldn't use it. Turn it the fuck off. Streaming quality, low. Volumetric quality, low. Physics quality, low. Water quality, please, for the love of fuck, don't choose any of these because I'm going to get a hernia if you ask me once more if I should use one of these fucking options. No, you don't. You go to default and done. No one cares about the water quality in this fucking game. We don't care. Default and done, alright? Shadow and lighting plays a very big role inside this game in your FPS and how the game runs, how it performs. You're going to go with very low, screen space shadows, low, spot shadow quality, low, spot cache, ultra, because I have my Nvidia control panel at 100 gigs on the shader cache, right? So, spot cache, ultra. Now, if you are an AMD user and you don't have the 100 gigs, don't worry. Still put this at ultra or high. Do not have it at medium, do not have it at low. So if you're an AMD user, high or ultra, okay? You should be good to go. Particle lighting, low. Ambient occlusion, off, always off. You do not need these fucking options. This isn't a single player game, it's a multiplayer game. So turn it the fuck off, alright? Screen space reflections, off. Static reflection quality, low. Weather grid volumes, you do not need to see the fucking weather in this fucking game. Turn it the fuck off. Nvidia reflex low latency, on plus boost right now is still the best, and for Season 6 it's also still the best. Depth of field, world motion blur, and weapon motion blur should be all turned off, but it's your own personal preference on which one you're going to turn on, or if you're going to use all three of them, alright? Film grain, I've seen a lot of people actually turn this up. I don't, and I'm not going to fucking touch it, so I'm going to leave it as is. You're going to apply these settings. I'm not going to apply these settings because I already have my settings as is. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, so this is the view tab over here. If you want to copy my settings as is, you can go ahead and do so, but every single person out there has their own personal preference when it comes to the view tab, alright? So I'm not going to tell you what to do in here. I'm not going to do that because everyone has their own personal preference. But if you want to, you can go ahead and copy my settings as is over here if you want to run your game like mine, okay? but you're probably not going to because everyone has their own personal preference. All right, let's go to interface because this plays a very big role inside this game as well. All right, go to interface and we're going to scroll all the way to the bottom. You're going to come over here. All right, this one you're going to turn off. And then you're going to go to inverted flash. A lot of people don't take advantage of this. I do, and I've been doing it for quite some time now. I highly recommend you turn this on if you don't want to get flashbanged and your entire room goes completely white. Turn this on, then your screen will actually go black instead of white. Please go ahead and take advantage of this by having this on. Have this on, and this on as well. Please, for the love of fuck, skip the introduction movie. You do not need to see the introduction movie every time you launch this fucking game. Alright? Turn it the fuck on. Right, from here, you're going to scroll up. You're going to come all the way up, and you're going to come to this one over here. And then I highly recommend that you just say all on. So you can actually see them here at the top. And I highly recommend that you go ahead and do this. Please do this if you don't use MSI Afterburner like me. As you can see, I'm using MSI Afterburner, and that's how I see what I'm doing, so I don't need this option here. Turn this off, alright? But for you, if you're not using MSI Afterburner, I highly recommend you select all on. Or you can customize it yourself at your own personal preference, okay? I leave mine off. You're going to scroll all the way up to the top, right here. You're going to come here where it says color customization, filter to both 100%, and scroll down. You're going to come here to where it says team and party. Please make your team and your party the same color. For the love of fuck, please make this the same color. If you play ranked mode and you have a random on your team, he's going to be a different color because you didn't change this, okay? And you might kill him by mistake if you play rank, okay? So please, for the love of fuck, because I get very irritated when my teammates kill me. It's very irritating watching my own teammates shoot me. Okay? Anyways, leave these two colors at the exact same color. You can choose your own personal one. Mine's baby blue. Alright? Sky blue or whatever the fucking blue you want to call this. And then I have my enemies as pink, magenta pink. You can have yours as your own personal color, what you want. I have mine at magenta pink. And then you just say apply custom color. You have this like this. Now this is the most important step, is this over here that you're going to need to take for all of these settings to apply to your game. Is this over here. You're going to come over here where it says restart shader optimization. You're going to click on this and then say restart. Now you're going to restart your entire game. You're going to restart your Steam if you're playing it through Steam. You're going to restart your Battle.net if you're playing it through Battle.net. You're going to restart the entire game, okay? So completely close out of this game, restart your computer, and then restart Steam if you're playing it through Steam. Restart Battle.net if you're playing it through Battle.net. And then at the top left corner here, it's going to say installing shaders. Let it finish. Don't do anything while that shaders install. Ladies and gentlemen, if this worked for you, leave a like, leave a comment, subscribe to my YouTube channel if you're new here. And if you would be so kind to support the YouTube channel, hit that thanks button and leave a comment on that thanks button. I would really appreciate it. As always, ladies and gentlemen, just here to help the Call of Duty community as best I can. And as always, peace out.